What's up, everybody? The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that's what's up. More specifically, Episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And yes, unlike last episode, Episode 2 to be more specific, I actually watched it on time. Mainly the day that it aired. I didn't wait a full week, almost a full week to watch it, because I didn't have the problem of, going through the holidays and other technical issues this time around. Now, enough about that. I think it's my favorite episode of the show so far. Like, when the show was pitched and when announced and the trailers started coming out, I expected this show to be primarily just Bucky and Sam going on missions together. I mean, just like a lot of other people, I expected the show to be mainly about Sam Wilson as the Falcon trying to settle into this new, his new role as the new Captain America with the new shield, just like what happened in the comics. And he was going to be partnered up with Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier, sort of trying to rebuild his life after everything that happened to him in Civil War and then subsequently the Avengers movies. And that's exactly what I thought the show was going to be. I did not expect the way this show is turning out to be. This is turning out to be, well, not too different from what I expected, but it's still a little bit different, and I'm enjoying it. I like it. Let's start off with some of the more Captain America stuff. In the previous episode, which again I watched and reviewed yesterday because of things that were beyond my control at this point, but I watched it yesterday. I watched this one today. Yesterday on last week's episode, I said that the new Captain America, the Wyatt Russell character, the John Walker character to be more specific, the new Captain America, I said he wasn't just some guy off the street that they pulled over and said, "Hey kid, you're the new Captain America, enjoy, here's a shield." No, I felt like there was more to his character, and he was definitely trying to be the better man and live up to the Captain America name, Steve Rogers' legacy. All that's pretty much out the window in this episode, because right off the bat we see him leading the charge on this assault on the warehouse where we saw Carly from the previous episode. Carly Montegrove, I keep messing up her name, I apologize, but we saw her and her friend and her kind of gang sleeping in that little bit of a makeshift warehouse there. So the new Captain America is raiding that warehouse. For the first thing that happens, the German guy doesn't like the new Captain America, which is a nice, interesting contrast, because when Captain America was first created, he was basically created to battle the Nazis, which were German. And now here we are in the modern era. In the 2020s, we see a different Captain America raiding a German refugee warehouse. It was basically like the opposite of what Captain America was originally designed to be. Because back during the Holocaust days, the Nazi Party actually searched people's houses to see if they were hiding Jews in them, and here we see an American superhero, the American icon that is Captain America, breaking into German people's houses to see if they're hiding terrorists in it. I thought that was kind of an interesting outlook on that. And in any case, the first thing that happens is the German guy resists, and then he spits on the new Captain America's face, and the guy just loses it. He pins him to the wall. He yells at him, "You know who I am?" And at that moment, I felt that was when my faith in this guy kind of fell apart, because again, I can't stop comparing this guy to Steve Rogers as Captain America. And what would Steve Rogers do if he was in this guy's position? And in all honesty, I think that if that guy would have spat in Steve Rogers' face, he would have just wiped it off and not, roll over like a dog and let the guy step all over him, but just try to handle this in a more diplomatic manner. He definitely wouldn't have lost his cool at that moment. And later in that very scene, as they leave the warehouse, we can clearly see that something is clearly not right with John Walker's character. We see him kind of hazy, and there's a bit of emphasis on that. I think my early prediction, which I'm assuming it's the obvious prediction, something in the super soldier serum is unstable. If they really actually gave him the super soldier serum, if it was a part of the training, maybe it's a PTSD type of a thing. I don't know. Something's not right with John Walker's character, and I'm interested to see how they explore it in the next couple of episodes. Now, back to the Sam and Bucky storyline, a continuation of last week's episode. They break Zemo out of prison, and obviously Zemo's trying to pull his old tricks again. He's trying to recondition Bucky to become the Winter Soldier all over again, and see Bucky obviously he got over it. So they stage. I really enjoyed the prison break scene. They stage a breakout. They go to Madripoor, which was a huge surprise to me. I wasn't expecting to see Madripoor in this show. For those of you who don't know, Madripoor is pretty much exactly what you saw in this episode. It's like, for those of you who are Star Wars fans, it's like Nar Shaddaa in the Marvel Universe. It's a city of, it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy, and it's basically exactly what we saw in this show, except the one major difference is it's primarily a location associated with the X-Men. It usually shows up in a lot of X-Men storylines in the comics, which it kind of makes me wonder, because when the show itself was being planned, and obviously development of this stuff goes a long way, a very long way, so when the plan for this show started, I believe it was even before Disney bought Fox, including all the X-Men properties and the Fantastic Four stuff that came with it. So, did they actually plan that far ahead? Obviously, the deal that Disney would buy Fox would have been in play for years now, but at that point, it still hasn't actually happened. And Kevin Feige did mention that any X-Men stuff that we might potentially see in the MCU isn't in 5 years away. So, was this an early plan to have Madripoor, or was it just a random thing? Maybe Madripoor doesn't fall into the same rules that the X-Men do, that they couldn't have shown the X-Men characters in the MCU prior to the purchase of Fox. I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, that's all I can say regarding Madripoor. The scenes taking place in Madripoor itself were actually really good. They really brought the city to life. I mean, I haven't actually read a lot of X-Men comics that involved Madripoor. I mean, I read a few here and there. I mean, but for the most part, I knew almost nothing about the show other than the basic information about what this city is. And I felt like, just like I made the Nar Shaddaa comparison, I felt like they really managed to embody and personify what the city is and what it means in the Marvel Universe, and definitely now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And obviously, they show up to the bar, they get the information that they need. I enjoyed that part. And obviously they meet up with Sharon Carter again. We see, because this is something that's very interesting to me, we saw Agent Carter, as she mentioned in this episode, she stole the wings to save Bucky and help Cap. Obviously she stole the shield as well, but we never actually heard from her or seen her again at all in any of the movies. Not in the Avengers movies, not in Infinity War, not Endgame, nothing. She was basically MIA. She didn't even make an appearance in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as far as I know. So I was kind of wondering what happened to her. What has she been doing this whole time? Apparently, she wasn't a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent anymore. She basically went rogue, just like Hawkeye did, just like Clint Barton did after the snap. Except she's been doing it for much longer. She's been doing it basically since the Sokovia Accords debacle. But yeah, we see that she basically had another life that none of us even knew about, including Sam and Bucky. And what I'm really interested to know, though, is obviously she shot the two thugs that chased Zemo, Bucky, and Sam to the alley. But was she also the same one that Snipe shot the bar owner lady in the back right after the phone call happened? It's interesting. I wonder if it was her. My first guess was that it was one of Zemo's men, because we learned a bunch of stuff, a bunch of secrets that we didn't know prior about Zemo. That was interesting to find out, but I'm thinking that Zemo has more involvement in the story that we are aware of at the moment, because even later, after they find the scientist guy and they have this whole major fight scene taking place in the containers, someone shoots a rocket launcher at the container that Sam, Bucky, Sharon, and Zemo happen to be in, and Zemo was clearly inside. And I only got a quick glimpse. I haven't actually went back and rewatched it, but I'm pretty sure whoever used the rocket launcher had a mask on that was very similar to Zemo's mask. Or maybe it was one of the Flag Smashers. I don't know. Again, I haven't gone back and rewatched it, but I'm guessing Zemo has another man on the inside, kind of having him along with this mission, and we're either going to get confirmation later in the season, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, they all four of them escape. Obviously, they barely escape with their lives. Sharon stays in Metroport, and it's basically like a step by step. It was basically, here's a comparison I didn't think I was going to make with this show. It's the Mandalorian, but in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And what I mean by that is that basically each and every episode they go from one place to another. The first episode was the introduction, they set up the world. Second episode, they had that mission where obviously they encountered the Flag Smashers for the first time. This episode they went to Metroport, and then subsequently to the next location. Next episode they're probably going to do some more missions. It's basically just like the same structure as The Mandalorian, which I really like. And obviously this leads me to the big huge reveal / cliffhanger at the end. Io is back. Florence Kasumba as Io, which interestingly she actually made her debut in the MCU before Okoye, even though Okoye is the one most people remember. She was the one who appeared in more movies. She was the more prominent character. Io actually appeared in the MCU first, which is kind of interesting. And obviously, as we guessed it, and as Bucky guessed it, she's after Zemo. Now, I did not expect that initially. When they mentioned they were going to break Zemo out of prison in the last episode, I thought they were just going to go and talk to Zemo, be just kind of the Loki stuff, which, again, it's very Hannibal Lecter inspired, but it's just very similar to the Loki scenes from Thor: The Dark World. He even goes and mentions to Bucky that he's really desperate to come to him for help. I thought that was an interesting comparison there, but I thought they were just going to go to the prison, get some help from Zemo, maybe break him out and bring him back to the prison without anyone noticing, but apparently Zemo has some other plans, clearly, but he, just like Bucky said, he's honorable. He has a certain code that he goes by, and he's actually legitimately trying to help Sam and Bucky, because he, like I said, he also has his own agenda, which is why he shot the scientist. He wants to prevent the super soldier serum from ever being recreated. Now, obviously, this sort of aligns with Bucky and Sam's agenda, but not entirely, and obviously he's going to stab them in the back the first chance he's going to get, but at least for right now, he's sort of trying to do the right thing. But I didn't think his involvement would be as deep as it has been in this episode. And then obviously next episode we're probably going to see some kind of conflict or confrontation between Bucky and Io, maybe some of the other Dora Milaje, maybe some of the watchdogs from Wakanda. Who knows? There's definitely some stuff happening with Wakanda later in the season, which kind of brings me to my next question. Where's the king? Like, I know real world stuff happened last year, and unfortunately, the late great Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us. But who's ruling Wakanda right now? Are we still because obviously they shot it before this happened, so are we just supposed to believe that the king is still alive for now, and we're probably going to get mentions of King T'Challa on the show, but we're never actually going to see him? I don't know. That's an interesting thing to think about. But in any case, like I said earlier up top, very, very solid episode. I really enjoyed it. My favorite episode of the show so far. Obviously, it's subject to change. We'll see how things get as we progress through this the next couple of episodes. Longest episode of the show so far. I believe it was even longer than all the episodes of WandaVision. It might actually be longer than all the episodes of The Mandalorian. I don't know. I still haven't checked that out. But yeah, I'm loving this. I'm loving the show, and I love the direction that they're choosing to go with these characters and with this particular storyline as part of the MCU. I can't wait. Obviously, I can't wait for the next episode. But again, just gonna have to wait patiently for episode 4, which I'm assuming is just going to be a crazy shit show, for lack of a better word. In any case, that's my thoughts on episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What did you guys think about this episode? How did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? How are you enjoying the show so far? Are you like me? Did you think this is the best episode of the show so far, or did you think it was the worst episode of the episode so far? Who knows? Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the season. And until then, everybody, America! Hello again, everybody! I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed making it. So, if you like what you've seen here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next time.